A violinist is suing Will Smith, claiming retaliation after he alleges that he was fired for reporting sexual harassment while on tour with Smith. King Joseph filed the lawsuit in California earlier this week, accusing Smith of deliberately grooming him for sexual exploitation.
Then, who'd you walk in on? Him and Dwayne Martin. Okay. Hollywood is the hurry up and wait game.
He know that Will Smith, Jaden, he Bashir and he Neat Mills, and you know it, Bilal.
Once upon a time, Will Smith was the king of Hollywood. Every movie he touched turned into box office gold. From Men in Black to The Pursuit of Happiness, he wasn't just a movie star, he was a symbol of success, charm, and family strength. But lately, that superstar glow has dimmed, and people can't stop talking about it. His perfect image, gone under a pile of drama and shocking confessions that had fans stunned. Over the past few years, Will's reputation has taken punch after punch, and social media hasn't given him a moment to breathe. Things started going downhill when his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, went public about her entanglement with singer August Alsina, and she said it straight on camera. That one word, entanglement, became a headline that shook Hollywood. In a heartbeat, Will went from being that cool, unshakable icon to someone everyone online turned into a meme. Then came the Oscars, the night that froze the world. Millions watched as Will marched onto the stage and slapped Chris Rock, saying he was defending his wife's honor. The crowd gasped, the internet exploded, and suddenly, sympathy clashed with disappointment. Fans didn't know what to feel. But just when everyone thought the chaos had peaked, another twist hit. A former employee stepped into the spotlight with jaw-dropping claims and a lawsuit that's now making the whole industry whisper. The drama around Will Smith isn't just gossip anymore, it's a full-blown storm. Now the whispers are spreading faster than ever. People are asking, could Will Smith really be facing a downfall like Sean Diddy Combs?
Hey everybody, I just wanted to talk about something really important. Earlier this year, I was hired to be a performer on a major tour with somebody who is huge in the industry. So I was excited, proud of myself for getting the opportunity. Unfortunately, some things happened, and I can't get into the details of exactly what that was, because it's already a legal issue right now. But the reason why I'm speaking out about this is because getting fired or getting blamed or shamed or threatened or anything like that simply for reporting sexual misconduct or safety threats at work is not okay. And I know that there's a lot of other people out there who have been afraid to speak up, and I understand. And if that's you, I see you. And that's pretty much it. More updates to come soon,
The latest reports are painting a picture way darker than anyone ever imagined. What once was the rise of a Hollywood legend is now turning into one of its wildest, most unpredictable falls. Once celebrated as a global icon, Will's story is showing just how fast fame can flip when the spotlight starts burning too bright. These days, his name isn't just about movie glory. It's wrapped up in a storm of controversy that won't quit. Things are taking a darker turn, and the newest allegations have fans shocked and uneasy. Word on the street says a former employee has filed a lawsuit against Will, accusing him of serious misconduct. Claims of harassment and manipulation that are making Hollywood insiders talk non-stop. The story started picking up steam back in December when musician Brian King Joseph, the electric violinist known for his wild performances, dropped a mysterious video online. In it, he hinted at being mistreated while working with what he described as a massive name in entertainment. That one clip sent social media into detective mode. Soon after, fans connected the dots when they realized Brian had recently worked on Will Smith's 2025 tour project. The timing, the tone, everything lined up too perfectly to ignore. The video didn't name names, but it had this chilling vibe that left people guessing and gossiping like crazy. Now, the rumor mill is louder than ever, with fans and insiders alike trying to figure out what really happened behind the scenes of that tour. At first, Brian's post barely made a ripple, but now it's blowing up and everyone's watching closely to see what comes next. At first, Brian's video barely made a sound online. He wasn't a big public name, so most people scrolled right past it. But that quiet didn't last long. Everything flipped upside down just a few weeks later when Brian officially filed a lawsuit against Will Smith and his production company, Trey Ball Studios. That's when the story exploded everywhere. As the new year rolled in, court documents surfaced showing that Bryan had accused Smith and his company of serious misconduct, including sexual harassment, wrongful termination, and predatory behavior. The accusations painted a troubling picture, describing what Bryan said was a pattern that began back in 2024, when he was hired for Will's 2025 tour project. According to the filing, things started feeling strange soon after Bryan joined the team. He claimed that Will began giving him an unusual amount of personal attention, the kind that didn't feel like normal professional respect. The documents describe Will spending long hours with him in rehearsals and private meetings, telling Bryan they shared a special connection that he supposedly didn't have with anyone else.
The hundreds of celebrities that I've done business with, and things with, and during the latter years of our relationship, Will was not my friend. I was his friend. I could tell you what goes on the inside. Everybody else is just speculation. And then I saw acts that when I walked in on.
Who'd you walk in on?
Him and Dwayne Martin. Door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having sex with Will. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing, like murder. It was there.
At first, Bryan didn't think much of it. He figured it was just admiration from a superstar. But over time, he said the vibes started to change. Something about Will's behavior felt off, uncomfortable, and hard to ignore. That uneasy feeling hit its peak during a major tour stop in Las Vegas in March 2025. When Bryan got back to his hotel in a room reportedly booked and managed by Will's own team, he said he instantly felt like something wasn't right. The tension, the strange atmosphere, everything felt wrong, and that moment became a turning point in what would soon become one of Hollywood's most talked about lawsuits. When Bryan stepped into his hotel room, something instantly felt off, like the air itself had shifted. Nothing looked broken, no locks were damaged, and there were no signs of forced entry. But still, the place didn't look right. Things were just slightly moved, like someone had been there while he was gone, watching or waiting. That moment hit him hard. This wasn't just tour stress anymore. It felt darker, way darker. According to Bryan, that night in Las Vegas was the turning point, the moment he realized that whatever was happening behind the scenes wasn't just business tension, but something deeply disturbing. The mystery surrounding that hotel room would soon become one of the most shocking details in his lawsuit against Will Smith and Trey Ball Studios. Earlier that same day, before the unsettling discovery, something strange had already happened. Bryan's bag, the one holding his hotel room key, had reportedly gone missing. And here's the weird part, it vanished while under the watch of the tour's management team. That odd twist later became a crucial piece of the puzzle, possibly explaining how someone could have entered his room without breaking in.
A violinist is suing Will Smith, claiming retaliation after he alleges that he was fired for reporting sexual harassment while on tour with Smith.
When Bryan finally stepped inside, what he found sent chills down his spine. Scattered around the room were strange random items that didn't belong to him, things that felt deliberately placed to scare him. There was a pack of wipes, an empty beer bottle, a red backpack, hospital discharge papers belonging to someone he didn't know, and even a bottle of HIV medication labeled with another person's name. But the most chilling detail of all? A handwritten note left right on the table. Whatever was written on that piece of paper would push the situation from suspicious to straight up terrifying. The note on the table sent a chill straight through Bryan, and it read, "Bryan, I'll be back no later than 5:30, just us." And at the bottom, a small heart was drawn. That one detail made everything feel twisted. Bryan said he took the message as something deeply inappropriate, like a warning of what could have come next. Panicked, he immediately called hotel security, reached out to the local non-emergency police line, and even notified Will Smith's representatives to report what had just happened. When hotel security checked the surveillance footage, the mystery only got stranger. There was still no sign of forced entry, but the cameras did show several members of Will Smith's own management team entering and leaving Bryan's room throughout the day. That meant whoever had been there wasn't some random outsider, it was someone from inside the tour. The revelation made the whole situation way more unsettling. According to the lawsuit, things got even darker when Bryan confronted the team with what the footage revealed. Instead of listening, one of the staff members allegedly turned on him, accusing him of making it all up. Bryan said he was humiliated, dismissed, and made to feel like speaking up was a mistake. Not long after, he was told the tour was moving in a different direction, and just like that, he was replaced by another violinist. In his legal filing, Bryan claimed the entire sequence, the missing bag, the creepy hotel incident, the sudden firing, wasn't random at all. He said it exposed a hidden pattern of manipulative and predatory behavior lurking beneath the shiny image of a high-profile Hollywood tour, the kind of behind-the-scenes chaos that fans never get to see, but once exposed, changes everything. According to Brian King Joseph's lawsuit, what happened went way beyond simple workplace misconduct. He claimed it was something far more twisted. In his filing, Brian said this wasn't just about bad behavior on a tour. He believed it was an attempt to groom and condition him for deeper exploitation within the entertainment world. He alleged that Will Smith had been manipulating him from the very beginning, using his power and influence to blur the line between professionalism and something much more personal. Brian described feeling like he was being slowly broken into the industry, a phrase that sent chills through readers. He said it felt like one of those behind-the-scenes realities people in Hollywood whisper about but never say out loud.
King Joseph filed the lawsuit in California earlier this week, accusing Smith of deliberately grooming him for sexual exploitation.
That certain stars are allegedly pressured to compromise themselves just to climb the ladder into elite circles. He reportedly believed that if he had gone along with Will's alleged behavior, his career could have taken off, but it would have come at a painful personal price. The story instantly reminded the public of another shocking controversy: the case involving Rodney Little Rod Jones and Sean Diddy Combs. Just like Brian, Little Rod claimed that Diddy used his status to get close under the disguise of mentorship, saying he was offering career guidance. But behind the scenes, he allegedly invited him to private gatherings, pushed him to loosen up, and tried to pull him into uncomfortable, intimate situations with others from the music scene. Little Rod even accused Diddy of going too far, claiming he was pressured into participating in disturbing encounters that left him shaken and confused. The most haunting moment, according to Jones, came when he allegedly woke up one morning and found Diddy lying beside him. That revelation shocked the public and cast a harsh light on what some insiders say really goes on behind Hollywood's glittering curtain. Brian described the experience as deeply uncomfortable and confusing, and something that left him questioning everything. When he confronted Diddy, he allegedly told him it was part of the business, and that if he wanted real success, he had to accept that kind of lifestyle. That comment hit hard because it drew eerie parallels to what Brian King Joseph later claimed about Will Smith, a pattern that many insiders say has quietly existed in Hollywood for years. Brian believed Will's alleged behavior followed that same hidden blueprint, a slow pull into a world of control, secrecy, and exploitation. But unlike others who may have stayed silent, Brian said he recognized the signs early and chose to fight back before things spiraled further. According to his lawsuit, he believed Will Smith's actions were intentional, a calculated effort to make him feel special, valued, and chosen out of everyone else. He said Will's approach was smooth and strategic, slowly breaking down his walls until Brian truly believed they shared a real connection. Once that trust was built, Brian claimed, the next move felt like a setup. That eerie handwritten note in his hotel room wasn't random at all. He believed it was a test, meant to measure how loyal and compliant he'd be if things got uncomfortable. In his filing, Brian described that note as a turning point, the moment he realized the so-called mentorship was something entirely different. The lawsuit even mentioned that the Las Vegas incident might have been an initiation night, a moment allegedly tied to what some insiders whisper about as the club, a secretive circle in the industry where people are said to be pushed beyond personal boundaries in exchange for fame and access. Brian claimed that if he had stayed silent and played along, the rewards would have been massive. More exposure, more opportunities, and a guaranteed spot closer to Hollywood's inner circle. But instead, he stepped away and decided to expose what he believed was a dark reality hiding behind the glitz and glam of stardom.
Then, who'd you walk in on? Him and Dwayne Martin. Okay. Hollywood is the hurry up and wait game.
Instead of staying quiet, Brian decided to stand his ground. He reported everything he believed had happened, and not long after, he was out of a job. Now he's taking his fight to court, suing Will Smith and his production company for wrongful termination, harassment, and emotional distress. In the filing, Brian said the entire ordeal left him struggling with PTSD and long-term anxiety, something that's continued to affect him even after the tour ended. But according to him, this lawsuit isn't just about money. It's about exposing what he believes is a hidden pattern of power abuse and manipulation manipulation inside the entertainment world. He wants to shine a light on the dark side of the business that most people never see. In response, Will Smith's legal team came out strong with a firm public denial. Their official statement read, "Mr. Joseph's allegations concerning my client are false, baseless, and reckless. They are categorically denied, and we will use all legal means available to address these claims and ensure that the truth is brought to light." The wording was polished, precise, and professional, exactly what you'd expect from a team defending a Hollywood heavyweight. But that statement didn't stop the whispers. Critics and fans online were quick to point out that it sounded eerily similar to what other celebrities have said when facing serious allegations. The tone, the phrasing, it all felt familiar. Many couldn't help but draw comparisons to Sean "Diddy" Combs' response when Cassie filed her explosive lawsuit against him. He too had publicly denied everything, and calling the accusations false and outrageous. Yet just a single day later, Diddy settled the case privately for tens of millions of dollars. And then came the bombshell, a leaked hotel surveillance video that appeared to show a violent altercation between him and Cassie, exactly what she had described in her lawsuit. That footage flipped the internet upside down, leaving people stunned and wondering how many of these baseless denials were really just carefully worded damage control. Now, with Will Smith's situation still unfolding, fans and insiders alike are watching closely, wondering if more evidence might surface, and if this could be the start of yet another Hollywood reckoning. When it comes to Will Smith, the controversy goes even deeper than the lawsuit accusing him of harassment and manipulation. There's another rumor that's been haunting Hollywood for years. Whispers about Will's alleged attraction to men. It's not a new story, but it roared back into the spotlight in late 2023 when a former personal assistant came forward with explosive claims that shook the internet. During an interview with Tasha K, the ex-assistant claimed he had personally witnessed Will Smith and actor Dwayne Martin in an intimate encounter. The allegation hit like a bomb, instantly setting social media on fire. Fans were torn. Some flat out refused to believe it, while others said it finally explained years of Hollywood gossip that had never quite gone away. The assistant insisted that what he saw was real, and that Hollywood hides far more behind closed doors than people realize. That single interview reignited old speculation and added a brand new layer to Will's already tangled public image. Suddenly, what once looked like isolated drama started to feel like a slow unraveling.
He know that Will Smith, Jaden, he Bashir and Neat Mills, and you know it, Bilal.
A web of secrets spilling into the open for everyone to dissect. But once those shocking claims went viral, Will Smith's camp moved fast to shut them down. His representatives wasted no time calling the story completely false, branding it a desperate attempt for attention. Both Will and Jada Pinkett Smith publicly dismissed the accusations as ridiculous, saying the person behind them was trying to pull off a money-making scheme. In their official statement, the Smiths even hinted that they plan to take legal action for defamation, though up to now, no such lawsuit has actually surfaced. Still, that didn't stop the comparisons. Online commentators immediately started pointing out how familiar this all sounded. The firm denials, the professional tone, the quick damage control. Many couldn't help but notice the similarities between Will's response and that of Sean "Diddy" Combs, who also faced serious accusations and issued nearly identical denials before his own scandals deepened. Whether coincidence or a pattern, fans are watching closely, and the question hanging over Hollywood now is simple but heavy. How much truth hides behind these polished statements? Soon the internet was buzzing with wild speculation. Whispers that Will Smith might be living a double life. People began wondering if the smiling, family-friendly image he showed the world was just a front hiding something completely different behind the scenes. And when Brian King Joseph's lawsuit dropped, it only added more fuel to those rumors, painting a picture of secrecy and manipulation that felt way too familiar to longtime fans. For those who followed Will's rise from day one, many say the rumors don't seem so impossible. His path to fame was never as picture perfect as it looked. Before becoming the face of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will was already famous as a rapper. The Fresh Prince, dropping hits with DJ Jazzy Jeff and living that flashy superstar life. But behind the scenes, things were falling apart fast. Even though he was making serious money, Will admitted he spent it just as fast. Luxury cars, designer jewelry, big houses, you name it. He was living like a Hollywood A-lister before he even got there. Then came the crash. His next album flopped hard, and to make it worse, he hadn't paid his taxes. the IRS hit him with a massive bill and back payments that wiped out nearly everything. In an old interview, Will opened up about that time saying, "We released our next album and it was a flop." He called that period one of the hardest moments of his life, the moment that forced him to rebuild from scratch. That financial collapse became the turning point that pushed him deeper into Hollywood, a place where success often comes with invisible strings attached. Some insiders say that's where the real story of Will Smith's rise begins, not with fame, but with the deal he had to make to survive. According to people who've watched his journey closely, the pressures of the industry pushed him into a world where power and access come with quiet compromises. Will once reflected on that downfall, admitting that his career nearly ended before it even started. He described that time as a complete financial meltdown, joking that his album didn't go platinum. It went double plastic. Despite the fame, the awards, and the public image, his money was gone. The IRS was at his door, and everything he'd built seemed to collapse overnight. In his own words, Will explained what it felt like to lose it all, like the moment that would change his life forever. Will once opened up about that dark chapter in his life, admitting, "I had spent all my money and I didn't pay the IRS. It wasn't like I was trying to avoid taxes. I just didn't have it." Soon after, the IRS came knocking hard, seizing his possessions and leaving him with almost nothing but his name and a fading reputation. He said it was a strange, painful feeling, being famous but broke. Everyone knew his face, but he couldn't even afford a car. He used to joke about those days, saying people would spot him riding the bus and ask, "Aren't you Will Smith?" while he was sitting right next to them. It was humiliating but real. He had hit rock bottom, broke, deep in debt, and unsure where to go next. It seemed like his career was done before it even truly began. But then came one night that would change everything. He met Benny Medina, the creative mind behind the concept of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Benny believed Will had the perfect charisma for the lead role, so he invited him to a birthday party. Not just any party, but Quincy Jones's birthday celebration, packed with some of the biggest names in the industry. That invitation would become the turning point of Will's entire life. Now, Quincy Jones wasn't just a music icon, he was a Hollywood powerhouse, someone who could open doors most people didn't even know existed. At that exclusive party, surrounded by top producers and executives, Benny introduced Will to Quincy. According to Will, Quincy didn't waste any time. He cleared the room and told Will to audition right there on the spot. Will performed, gave it everything he had, and Quincy loved it. By the end of the night, Will had officially landed the role that would make him a household name, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But here's where things take a darker turn. Over the years, whispers have followed that legendary night, with some insiders suggesting it wasn't just about talent. Rumors claim that Will's sudden big break came with certain industry expectations, the kind of quiet arrangements people in Hollywood never speak about publicly. While nothing has ever been proven, those stories keep resurfacing, adding another layer of mystery to Will Smith's rise from rock bottom to superstardom. For years, Hollywood insiders have whispered about the price of fame, rumors that claim the industry's elite demand initiation rituals from rising stars in exchange for access, power, and success. There's no solid proof to back it up, but the speculation never seems to die down. Many have repeated the story that Will Smith's connection with Quincy Jones that fateful night may have gone beyond just a casual audition. Whether that's true or not, the rumor has followed Will for decades, fueling endless debates about how deep Hollywood's hidden culture might go, and what some may allegedly do to secure their place within it. As time passed, the whispers about Will's early days in Hollywood only grew darker. Some voices inside the industry made shocking allegations, claiming that Quincy Jones didn't just help launch Will's career. He also supposedly introduced him to a secretive side of the business built on control, loyalty, and manipulation. Even more sensational are the unverified rumors connecting Quincy Jones to Tupac Shakur, suggesting that he may have played a similar role in shaping the late rapper's experience in Hollywood's inner circles. Though those claims are surrounded by controversy, they've become part of a much bigger discussion about how far-reaching Hollywood's power networks really go, and who pays the hidden price for success. What makes all of this even more unsettling is the troubling history connected to Benny Medina, the man credited with giving Will Smith his second shot at fame. Medina went on to become one of the most powerful and influential managers in the entertainment business, representing some of the biggest stars in the world, but his reputation hasn't been spotless. Back in 2004, a man reportedly filed serious charges against Benny Medina, accusing him of sexual assault. The case never reached a clear resolution, as the accuser tragically passed away away not long after coming forward, under circumstances that some have called suspicious. Then, just a few years later in 2008, actor Jason Dotley publicly accused Medina of assaulting him during an after-party at a lavish Hollywood mansion.
The church. Because of these allegations, these things that
For a whole wide variety of reasons. It isn't a very simple answer. I left because my wife wanted me to, and also because I wasn't making any money, because all the money flows, of course, to my father, always has. I was also tired of the fraud and the deception, plus his deep involvement in personal use of drugs on himself and others, black magic.
When you say black magic, what are you talking about? I mean, some of the things that I read in the stack of material, it sounds just absolutely unbelievable. What are you talking about when you say this?
Well, the funny thing is that the actual truth is about as far out as Scientology itself. Really, the basis of Scientology, which is rather hidden and covered over, is the occult, the deep involvement with satanic powers. He felt that he was deeply involved with a British black magician called Aleister Crowley, and through putting himself in deep hypnotic trances and the use of drugs on himself, he wanted to become the more...
Though Medina has denied every accusation against him, the pattern of claims has left many people questioning how much power really shields the entertainment elite from accountability. And for those who followed Will Smith's rise, these unsettling connections have only added more weight to the theories that his journey through Hollywood's gates may have come with far more than anyone ever realized. According to Jason Dotley's detailed account, his encounter with Benny Medina began one night in late December 2008 at the Abbey, one of West Hollywood's most famous nightclubs. The two started talking casually, and before long, Medina invited Dotley back to his home for what seemed like a friendly get-together. But once inside, Dotley claimed the mood shifted fast, and what started as a casual evening allegedly turned into something deeply uncomfortable. He accused Medina of suddenly grabbing him, forcing him onto a bed, and saying disturbing things that left him terrified. Dotley said he begged to be let go, explaining that he was married and didn't want to be part of whatever was happening, but claimed Medina ignored him completely. The experience, according to Dotley, left him shaken, humiliated, and scared to speak out, especially considering how powerful and well-connected Medina was in Hollywood at the time. For years, Dotley stayed silent, afraid of what speaking up might do to his career, but when he finally shared his story publicly, it reignited old suspicions about the hidden behavior of some of Hollywood's most powerful players. And when people started connecting the dots, the picture grew even more unsettling. Benny Medina wasn't just any entertainment insider. He was the same man who discovered Will Smith at his lowest point, when his career had nearly collapsed. He's the one who brought Will into the orbit of Quincy Jones, the Hollywood powerhouse, with the influence to make the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air a reality. Critics and conspiracy watchers have long pointed out how these overlapping names, Will Smith, Benny Medina, Quincy Jones, seem to appear again and again in stories about young talent breaking into the industry. It's a pattern that makes people wonder, how deep do these alleged circles of control and initiation really go? When you look back at old photos of Will Smith and Benny Medina, it's easy to see how close they once were. Smiling, arm in arm, seemingly inseparable during Will's early Hollywood days. To some, it's just friendship and mentorship. But to others, it's proof of a deeper connection in a world where fame, power, and secrets often collide behind the glittering surface of stardom. Over the years, many fans and commentators have noticed just how personally Benny Medina seemed to invest in Will Smith's career, almost as if it went beyond a typical mentor-protege relationship. And with Medina's troubling past allegations resurfacing, some can't help but wonder if there's more to their connection than the public was ever told. These quiet whispers have fed a growing theory that the same power dynamics that allegedly pulled Will into Hollywood's inner circle may have later shaped parts of his own behavior and choices. Some say Will was brought up in a system built on manipulation, one where success came through loyalty, influence, and submission to those those holding the keys to power. According to this idea, the industry conditions its rising stars to obey first, then rewards them later. Over time, that same system can twist victims into participants, continuing a dark cycle that never truly ends. The theory suggests that Will might have learned those same unspoken rules, the ones said to define the hidden side of Hollywood. A secretive world fueled by control, secrecy, and silent agreements that most people never see. It's a world some insiders refer to as the dark side of Hollywood. Adding even more intrigue, Will's rumored ties to the Church of Scientology have long been part of this discussion. While Will has publicly denied ever being a member, his history with the organization paints a murkier picture. Over the years, he's been photographed attending Scientology-related events, and there are records of him receiving acknowledgement from the group for his contributions. It doesn't stop there. Reports show that Will and Jada once helped fund and open schools that used teaching methods directly inspired by Scientology's educational system, blending Hollywood prestige with the group's controversial philosophies. Those familiar with Scientology's origins claim that some of its core ideas were influenced by the writings of Aleister Crowley, a notorious figure known for his fascination with ritualism and occult beliefs. Even more shocking, the son of Scientology's own founder, L. Ron Hubbard Jr., once stated that his father's work was heavily inspired by Crowley's dark teachings. To many observers, that connection explains why so many high-profile stars tied to Scientology seem to operate within strange, secretive circles of influence, places where fame, power, and control mix in unsettling ways. And that's exactly why people say Will Smith's story, from his early struggles to his present-day scandals, fits too neatly into this long-running Hollywood mystery. It's a tale that keeps circling back to the same hidden patterns of power, silence, and influence that the entertainment world can never quite bury, no matter how much it glitters on the surface. All these stories, rumors, and connections seem to paint one chilling picture: the idea that behind Hollywood's glittering red carpets lies a world built on secrecy, power, and control. For many people watching from the outside, Will Smith's story isn't just another case of celebrity controversy. They believe he's part of a much bigger system, one that's been running for decades and thrives on silence and loyalty. The strange coincidences, the overlapping names, and the repeated allegations have fans and insiders convinced that there's something deeper happening here, something way beyond the usual fame drama. Some even claim that Will eventually became one of Hollywood's gatekeepers, someone who climbed the ladder by learning the industry's unspoken rules, then helped keep that same cycle alive. The belief is that once you reach a certain level of influence, you're no longer just a performer. You become part of the machine itself, shaping who rises and who falls. For those who see the pattern, Hollywood isn't just about fame, awards, or money. It's about power. It's a world where morals get traded for opportunities, and where standing up against the system can come with serious consequences. According to these claims, Brian King Joseph might have been the latest person to find out what happens when you refuse to play the game. As Will Smith's journey, from his rise to superstardom to the storm surrounding him now, continues to unravel, it leaves everyone asking the same questions. What's real? What's rumor? And what's Hollywood hiding from the rest of the world? Every time one story quiets down, another one pops up, deeper, stranger, and harder to ignore. And it's that pattern that keeps fans glued to every update, wondering how much truth is hiding behind those bright lights and perfect smiles. If you thought this story about Will Smith and Hollywood's hidden world was shocking, just wait. The next deep dive goes even further, uncovering names and connections that will leave you stunned. There are people who've been quietly linked to stories just like this one, and their involvement might change how you see the entire industry. So what do you think about everything we just went through? Could these dark theories have any truth behind them, or is it all just Hollywood myth-making gone wild? Either way, one thing's clear. The glitz and glam always come with shadows, and we're only just starting to see what's hiding inside them. So what do you think? Wait, could these shocking claims about Will Smith actually be true? Or are they just another layer of wild Hollywood rumors and behind-the-scenes manipulation? The internet can't stop debating it, and honestly, the truth might be stranger than anyone expects. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading every single one, and we want to hear what you believe. Do these patterns really reveal something dark about the entertainment world, or is it all smoke and speculation? Either way, the conversation isn't over yet. And hey, if you're into uncovering the real stories behind Hollywood's biggest names, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next.